We'll go ahead and call the Genesee County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Nolden,
Present.
Winfrey,
Here.
Ellenberg. Here. Clemens,
Present.
Young,
Present.
Shoemaker,
Present.
Davis,
Present.
Newman,
Present.
Peppin.
Here.
Right, we have invocation by Commissioner Shoemaker, pledge to the flag by Commissioner Winfrey.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for gathering us here together today. Help us to be of the right mind that we may do the will, carry out your will, Lord, which is what is best for your people, the people that you've blessed enough to live in this great nation, that we live in this wonderful county, that we do. Lord, I ask that our decisions will be decisive and fair, and we will keep with the manner of respect that is demanded of us. Lord, I ask you to bless those within our community who are suffering, those who may be without food, those who are suffering without jobs right now, that we may do what is your will to help them get fed and to return to work. I ask all these things in your Son's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, we do have, with the board's approval, add item A3, Treasurer's Office, regarding an investment consultant.
Move it.
What's the pleasure of the board for the agenda as amended?
Actually, I also have an add-on too, so could it be add-on number 4?
Would that
do
be
the
for
three
Dr.
first?
Caravella?
No, actually, this one would be for the program letter of agreement. This is the University of Michigan School of Public Health. It's the residency program that we have with the health department, and we just need to have the agreement signed. They've already started working, and they're doing the work now, but we just need to have the agreement signed so we can continue this on.
That would be item A4. We had already done, we had basically approved the program before with Oakland, but we should have included that in the original agreement, so.
Absolutely.
Support.
All right, all those in favor of adopting the budget,
Adopting the budget.
or the add-ons?
I was going to approve it. No.
I was trying to get ahead of the game by a couple months here, so.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, we have the minutes before you from June 23rd meeting. What's your pleasure?
Support.
Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We have time set aside for public address to the board. Is there any public address at this time?
Neil Seward, 6373 Boulder Drive, Flint Township. I was here last week and spoke to you about public safety and equality and diversity. I've been really looking at your website during the last few weeks, on and off, and I really like your biographies, learned a lot about you, and I appreciate all of you serving our community. But I was scouring, looking for the minutes to these Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee meetings that you've held, and I did not find them. So if you can help me out in those regards, I'd appreciate it. But more importantly, going forward, I'd like to know what you've done previously, but going forward, when is your next meeting? Is the public invited? And if I come and give you some specifics, will I have longer than 2 minutes to speak? We need to make people feel safe in this community. And when they have or become victims of hate crimes, they need to feel safe in reporting them. When we have an Asian female that walks out of her pharmacy in Fenton, Michigan, and she is verbally assaulted because she is Asian and she is spit on, rather than go to her vehicle and cower and cry, she needs to feel safe in reporting those incidents. That's just one example. I want to come to a meeting and give you some specifics. We have a racial problem in this community as well as in this country. We need people to feel safe in Genesee County, and we cannot just hang our hats on the fact that we had one real safe kind of protest or demonstration march over a year ago. We need to move forward and challenge and take on these racial hate crimes that occur in these communities. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil. I will ask Commissioner Clemens to reach out to you to get you information that you requested, okay? Thank you. All right, is there any other public address to the board? Going twice, going 3 times. Public address is now closed. Under communications, City of Linden Sesquicentennial Celebration.
On file with our office, there's no action needed.
Okay, and then just next, or at the next board meeting, we will have an update from the ARPA committee. So moving on to appointments, we have Resolution 2021-517, approval for the reappointment of Patrick Henry to serve a 3-year term on Genesee Health Systems Board of Directors.
And move items 1 through 4 as they're all for the Genesee
Support.
Health System Board.
Been moved items 1 through 4. Is there any discussion?
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Well, I actually have some discussion. I don't have a problem with actually, moving these 4, but I was a little concerned because Dr. Carvella, who was on the health board, her term has expired, and it's for a medical doctor, and she has been an outstanding member of the health board. And if it's possible, I'd like to add that as a reappointment as well, if my colleagues are okay with it.
Chairman, we do have that on for the next
Oh,
Board of
okay. Well,
Commissioners
then
meeting on the
I'm good.
28th.
I'm good then. I'm good. Okay. Well, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, is there any other discussion? Commissioner Shoemaker.
As always, I see that we've got emailed at 8:50 something on a policy on this, but as of today, I'm going to, not anything against any of these people that are on this, but I'm going to vote no because I think there still, needs to be a policy in place that we vet people more carefully when they represent the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing no other
If I could just say, excuse, the people that are on this system, I sit on this board, and, they represent this board very well. Sometimes, Mr. Koffel isn't there, but he was a big push for the GHS new building and making sure that we basically put people in Genesee County to work. And if you haven't had a chance to go by and see the structure, it's coming along really, really well. He was kind of a big push on being able to reserve the metal or, the steel beams and make sure that that was able to go forward. So he's done a great job. And everybody that's here, Kathy Bowles is now the chair of GHS. And being the fact of all of her experience with VAAA, she'll do a fantastic job. So I think we have some good choices here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Commissioner Shoemaker.
Commissioner Ellenberg brought up a good point, and this is when she mentioned the fact that people sometimes miss meetings. When we had this committee before, we'd noticed we had several people that actually hadn't even attended a committee meeting for almost a year. And that's the type of vetting what I'm talking about, is to make sure this board has a full record of how many meetings they attended, how long they've been on the board. There's many things that need to be discussed in this. I like the initial email I started to read over, sent out by the chair, but I think much more work needs to be done on this, and I think we all need to be involved in this. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to reports, item A1, Resolution 2021-521, approval of purchase orders to various vaccination sites. It's been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Through the chair to the Health Department, was there any negotiation done as far as what the fee structure would be or what would be paid out beforehand with this?
That would be you, Dr. Hackert.
Morning, Commissioners. This was a third-party offer based on the Dort Center, what their normal rate was for renting out the facility, and that's what we were going to be using on a daily basis for the 4 months originally. And then with the pharmacy pharmacy building, Diplomat Pharmacy Building offering their services for free because of the spacing and the relationship with the county, then we just used that number that Dort had been charging for a daily rental to pay for the rentals that we had used in the past for the community centers.
Thank you.
Is there any other discussion, any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on, item A2, approval of a proposed amendment to the 2020-2021 appropriations resolution. Support. It's been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Next item, we have item A3, Treasurer's Office to hire an investment consultant.
Support.
I don't have a copy of that. Do we have any of those available? Thank you. All right, it's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Ellenberg?
Yeah, to Deb. I know. We push it up there.
Okay.
So, can you explain briefly, like, what this, the intention for this agency is?
Oh, sure, yeah. The intention is that, as you may have guessed, as the county has done better over the past few years, we have money now that we need to invest. And we do basic investments, but we're at a point where we can maybe do some more. So this company will advise us. They will not make the investments for us. That's going to be our responsibility. They have to comply with Public Act 20, but they can provide us with some recommendations for us to go forward on.
And the contract and everything went through corporate counsel and all
I think
that?
corporate counsel has reviewed it, yes. Brooke has.
Mr. Chair, I had not seen this until this morning, Deb. And I asked, I had Brian call Brooke, and Brooke's off this week, but I think her response was she has not seen this.
Oh, well, her and Carla, I know, met, and they had, there was one thing that had to change that was changed because of that. So that's all I can tell you.
Brian, can you add anything more to your conversation with Brooke?
She just sent us a text that says, it never got to me for review because, I just reviewed the treasurer agreement. I am fine with it except a defined term. It never got to me for review because it was rejected by risk management, then only approved by purchasing today.
Right.
But she has looked at it today.
Okay.
She talked to Carla a week ago, but I can't, as far as I know, they worked out everything.
Okay.
Okay,
So she's fine with it.
That's what she said in the text.
So,
Make sure that before it's signed by the chair, that your office signs off on it.
all right, and so just so commissioners realize, she's working while she's on vacation. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. That's
Yep.
all I wanted to just make sure everything was in place.
Yep, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Right, are there any other questions, any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item we have is item A4, Health Services Agreement with University of Michigan.
Move it.
Support.
Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. All right, moving on, Community Economic Development, Commissioner Deborah Newman, Chairperson, Meredith Davis, Vice Chair. Do we have a report from the Chair?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Moving on, Finance Committee, Commissioner Gary Peppin, Chairperson, Dominic Clemens, Interim Vice Chair.
First is Resolution 2021-523. It's forwarding to receive and file a copy of the paid county bills for the week ending 5/30/21 and 6/6/21. Total amount of $4,553,971.05.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution 2021-524, approval of a request by Genesee County's Water and Waste Agency
Move it.
to use $2 million.
Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the Chair?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Moving on, Governmental Operations Committee, Commissioner Bryant Nolden, Chairperson, Commissioner Ellen Ellenberg, Vice Chair.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to move D 1 through 15. They've been through committee and we've had discussion in committee.
Support.
Moved, is there support?
Support.
Been moved and supported. Commissioner Shoemaker?
Mr. Chair, I would like to just amend that slightly. I'd like to pull a couple of items out, and if you'd give me a minute, I could just look at it. I think there's two that I wanted to actually pull out, if that's okay.
Yeah.
7.
7 was one I wanted to have discussion on, and 2, if we may.
So you want to pull out
7 and 2, please.
7 and 2?
Please.
Okay, so can we vote on the others, Mr. Chairman, and then have discussion on number 2 and number 7?
Yes.
Are you agreeable with that?
So it's been moved and supported. Items 1, 3 through 6, and items 8 through 15.
Yes.
Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, I'd like to move number 2 for discussion purposes.
Support.
Okay, it's been moved and supported for item number 2. Commissioner Shoemaker.
As of my statement last time, my only problem is with extending contracts out, continuing to renew them when there might be better options out there. I think someone mentioned at the time actually working with G-Card maybe, and I think that should be an option that should be looked into. So for right now, I'm a no on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Hey.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, I'll move on number 7 for discussion purposes.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Is there any discussion? Commissioner Shoemaker, you had requested for it to be pulled?
Yep. Well, yeah, I would like, if we could, just an explanation of the prosecutor going to a sheriff's conference. I was just trying to understand that.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, to Commissioner Shoemaker, if you look on Ms. Phillips' handwritten notes, it's packet page 176. There's two specific discussions that she thinks would be valuable to our office. One is the use of body cameras. Body cameras are becoming a much more worldwide event usage. Genesee County lags behind many of the other communities in the use of body cameras. The city of Flint, you might have seen in the media, is now actually trying to get funding so that it can have body cameras. The city of Flint provides most of the work of the prosecuting attorney's office. Ms. Phillips believes, and I agree with her, that we need to have the discussions with the police departments and see what's going on across the country. This is not sheriffs, this is the International Association of Chiefs of Police. So we would be able to have discussions and hear from speakers about the use of body cameras and how they're interacting with prosecutors' offices across the country. Because what happens with body cameras is the body camera video runs, and we have to figure out how we're going to get that video once we get body cameras in our county, which I support. I think we need to do that. We have to get that video, and we have to somehow efficiently go through all of that video so that we find the specific areas where we need to turn it over to the defense, because that's an obligation under a case called Brady, came out of the Supreme Court some years ago. So there's a lot of issues there. That's one of the big factors that she talked about in her notes, and I think she's right about that. The other one, of course, is police reform. In the wake of George Floyd, there's been tremendous changes across the country and even locally. I sit on a state board about this, about police reform. So there's some very useful conversations that will be had and sessions that are planned that assist us, because we work with the police every single day. I mean, I walked through my offices at McCree yesterday, and there were 5 police detectives sitting around a table and no prosecutor, but they were there because they were about to present something to one of my people. So it's a useful conference, and that's why I think she wants to go.
Commissioner Clemens.
Is this a conference that folks from your office attend annually, or is this the first time you're attending this?
We do not. In fact, I've never been to this. She has been to it before when it was in a different location some years back. The money's in the budget because, normally we attend a statewide conference at the Grand Traverse Resort in February and our annual conference on Mackinac Island in August. So that's budgeted, but both conferences this year were canceled. So this is in lieu of those two, so there's no extra funding. In fact, we're not spending anywhere close to our line item for conferences and training this year.
Commissioner Shoemaker.
You mentioned it because of the COVID outbreak, that certain conferences were canceled. If this was to be canceled because of another uptick, is this refundable at all?
I don't know the answer to that, but I suspect it's not going to be canceled because I don't think there's going to be any issues there.
Oh, like I said, I'm just wondering that. I'm praying that it's not.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that,
From there,
Commissioner.
so that's right. If somebody could just get back to me whether it is, that would be great.
Right, is there any other discussion? Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carried. Thank you. Do we have a report from the chairperson?
None at this time.
All right, thank you. Moving on, Human Services Committee, Commissioner Charles Winfrey, Chair, Commissioner Ellen Ellenberg, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to move items E1 through 5.
Support.
Been moved, it's been supported. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chair?
No report at this time.
Thank you. Moving on, Public Works Committee, Commissioner Dominic Clemens, Chairperson, Commissioner Sean Shoemaker, Vice Chair.
I'd like to move items 1 through 7.
It's been moved and supported, move items 1 through 7. Commissioner Shoemaker.
Can we remove item 2 for discussion?
I'm sorry, I heard the door bang, I didn't hear you.
Can we remove item 2?
2? That agreed to the maker and the supporter?
Yes,
Phoebe?
sir.
Commissioner Nolden?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so items 1 through 7 minus number 2. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Commissioner Clements, item number 2.
I'd like to move item number 2, approval of a purchase order to AIS Construction Equipment Corporation for the fiscal year ending 2022 in an amount not to exceed $115,000 to provide for the purchase of a compact track loader.
Been moved and supported. Commissioner Shoemaker?
I just had one question, I didn't ask it last time. Was this figured in their budget?
I think we have somebody here from,
Morning. What was your question?
I was wondering, through the chair, if this was actually figured into the budget.
This is out of special assessments. It's not a general fund budget.
Was,
And yes, we do have our money in for special assessments to cover that.
okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
thank you. Any other questions? Seeing no other questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a report from the chair?
No report at this time.
All right, we have no unfinished business, no new and miscellaneous business, no other business. We stand adjourned. Next meeting we have would be finance. I know some of the commissioners were wanting to call